Humans of the cardboard, welcome back to another hype deck profile. Today we are peeping at DRAGONMAID Bestials. They combine with the new archetype so insanely well, and to be honest, I don't even love the idea of just playing Bestials generically. Yes, I know they're insane, but there's just something different about it when I actually look at my deck and I'm like, yo, I actually have like super cool extra synergy as extenders with this card. So I think Dragon Link with them is really cool. So I think this deck with them is very cool, and I like it overall. So it's really, really cool. Yeah, this is my build. It's definitely more of a control-heavy build. I've seen a couple variants that have already done well at a couple regionals that were a little more turbo, like combo turbo kind of situation. But, well, obviously, you know, I'll mention why I'm making my choices as we go through. So without further ado, let's jump into this thing, starting off with our DRAGONMAID lineup for the monsters. Of course, triple copies of Chamber, triple Parlor, and I'm actually on double Kitchen and the one Lore Par as well. This is the lineup I've been enjoying the most overall. I like this one. I like this lineup a lot just because, so I like playing the one Big Dragon because I think once you get in rotation, it allows your deck to grind so much better. So just the one off there. But other than that, like a lot of people have cut Kitchen and they just play these two. But I actually like Kitchen because combined with so many other cards in the deck, it actually makes for 2-card combos, not just 1-card combo. So it is like a pseudo starter in that sense. I felt like when I was just playing these would not let me see my DRAGONMAID engine as much as I would like to. So I decided to go ahead and play these as well, and I've been liking it. I think it's been like my preferred ratio overall for that. Moving on to the Bestial lineup, the only card I don't have for the deck is Lubellion because he's expensive as dookie right now. He isn't even seeing that much play. It's awful. Whatever. Okay, so triple Lubellion because he's like the best starter for the Bestial package. Then triple Magnamut, double Drewsworm, and 1 copy of Saronir as well. This is somewhat standard. You know, I see small changes to the lineup where people go in and just say, you know what, as many DD Crows as possible. Let's just play 3-3-3. I've seen people go 3-2-2. I've seen people go 3-1, 3-3-1. I've even seen people do a 3-1-1, so it really just depends, but I like Drewsworm a lot. I think in a lot of grind games, going into the second one could be really, really nice, but this is where I ended up here. I think this is a pretty standard lineup here. Saronir, by far the worst one, but he does help you get like the full ceiling of the Bestial package by being able to get access to Regained and Beast all in one turn, which is very important for like, you know, getting your maximum payoff there. And the final monsters I play in the main, triple Effect Failure, double Ash. I wanted some hand traps aside from the Bestials that didn't get punished if I played a deck that like wasn't super hindered if you DD Crow them. So I wanted a couple hand traps that would kind of help me, you know, still give some dink and dunk onto some you know, other decks that just don't care as much. But like, you know, stuff like Exosister, stuff like Flowanderies, these cards can hit them decently well and hopefully give me a chance going second when I play those. Into the spells, nothing too crazy here either. Triple Prosperity, I think this is correct in this build. I've seen other builds where people play 2 copies of this or just don't play it at all because they're playing a more combo-y build where they need more of their extra deck cards more often. But I like this because we are going a little heavier on the DRAGONMAID stuff, so we are trying to play a more grindy game there. And so, you know, the triple is definitely correct for me, especially post-side, being able to find going first or going second cards that just help us blow our opponent out is definitely a leg up if you ever played like a mirror, for sure. For the DRAGONMAID spells, 1 copy of Changeover and 2 copies of Hospitality. I think 1 Changeover is totally fine. I think what we're going to see for the next few formats to come, nobody in their mother are going to be playing DD Crow because, like, who cares? You can play Bestials, and as long as tier is still really good, why would you ever play DD Crow over Bestials? So I think everybody's going to be playing Bestials, so nobody's really caring about banishing this 1 copy of this card. So I think the 1 is totally fine. And then double Hospitality. I like this card. I think if you're playing a super small engine, you can get away with playing just 1 of this, but I think in this build 2 is preferred for me. Like I said, I'm a little bit heavier on the DRAGONMAID stuff. You also got to play the 1 Branded Regained. This seems to be the hated brick from the Bestial engine, although I don't even think it's that bad. If you open it with any Bestial, like, you're going to be able to at least trigger this for a draw. So it's like, I don't know, it kind of replaces itself at least and then can offer you value later on. So it's really not that big of a deal. Plus, it also helps you reset some of your extra deck monsters. So any one-ofs, or if you are in like a super grind, you can reset some of your extra deck monsters by banishing them with a Bestial, which is pretty cool. So yeah, good there. And then the last spell was 1 triple tactics talents. I've kind of talked about this on and off a couple times throughout the channel's history, especially over the last like couple months. The idea of playing like random one-offs in your deck, because like, is really cool, because if your opponent ever sees a one-off, especially one that is something like tactics, where a lot of people, you either play tactics or you don't, it can definitely put some weird thoughts into your opponent's mind, where maybe they side deck kind of around triple tactics talents, or when they're making in-game decisions, they're deciding things based on, oh, he could have talents. But if you only play one and they see it and then they start playing that way, they kind of just like are caught in a really weird spot where they're kind of anti-building their deck and anti-playing around a one-off that you showed them one time because they didn't know it was just a one-off in your deck, which is really cool, really funny. I like the idea of it. So yeah. Could be called by the grave as well. Triple Dragonmaid Tiding, starting off with the traps. This card is insane. I love this card so much. So target dragon you control and any card your opponent controls, returning them to the hand. Absolutely awesome. A compulse, pretty much. That also reloads like Bestials back into your hand to be able to fire again. Reloading Magnamoots in your hand is like so crazy with this card. And then also on a later turn, being able to like reborn a Dragonmaid for follow-up is also really good. Very much so love this card. It's really, really cool. I wish more archetypes would get like a card like this. 1 Branded Beast. Yeah, this card is kind of the interruption trap for the Bestial engine. You'll get this off of your Lubellion when you get to set a card for free. As long as you control a Bestial, you contribute a dragon to just target a card on the field and destroy it. And then during the end phase, you can set a rebranded or a branded continuous spell or trap into your, you can place it into your spell and trap zone. So that's how you get back the rebranded or the branded, what is it? Hold on. Branded, is it Retribution is the name? Hold on. Branded Regained. You can, after you send Regained off of Saronir, you can set it on the end phase off of this card to get both online. But yeah, it's really cool. It's just great to have like every turn like a continual pop. It is kind of a shame that you have to control a Bestial. Like, even though it only needs to tribute a dragon, you do still have to control a Bestial. But in this deck, it's not too hard. You just don't want to draw the spell or the trap with no Bestial cards whatsoever. That's the only thing you don't want to see there. But should be good. Triple Imperm, this is the other hand trap I play. So 8 other hand traps, and, you know, Imperm's just solid there. Just be careful not to lock yourself out of Imperm by firing Bestial monsters before them when you're, you know, playing going second and you just have hand traps. Just be careful not to summon a Bestial before you turn off your Imperm, you know, and all that stuff. So cool there. And the last 2 cards in the main deck, 2 copies of Rivalry of Warlords. This could honestly be 3. If you really don't love the idea of like the triple tactics talent, or, you know, triple prosperity, you want to play 2 of it like everybody else, or play 2 effect filler, 2 imperm instead of 3. Like, there's a couple different things you can definitely wiggle around with ratio wise to play a third of this. This card's obviously insane. Yeah, especially now with like Ashizu cards coming out for like tier, half their deck's gonna be fairy, half their deck's gonna be aqua, so you can definitely punish them there. Not to mention, like, is it Kaleido Heart is fiend not aqua, and also Rhino Heart is warrior not aqua. So plus the Bestials being dragons, you have like multiple ways to just like completely lock down a Bestial deck with this card. So I think it's quite good in that matchup. Obviously, it's great for Sprite because the pure Thunder cards in Sprite that you ever go into do really not threaten you that much. They need to get into the other extra deck stuff to really like really apply pressure. So being able to lock them out of stuff like that, or in like against the oh my gosh, what is that? Runic, the Runic Sprite variant. If they ever lead with one of the Runic fusions, summoning it out, depending on their hand, this can just like straight up turn their whole hand off, which is really cool. So yeah, pretty insane. 40 cards in the main. Yeah, might look for a way to play the third rivalry, but yeah, that's everything I have in the main. Into the extra. Double Shao, double House, like, don't need to talk about these too much. If you ever need the third, 1, Shao reloads itself into extra, and 2, House can be put back in the extra by Regain, so it's not that big of a deal. For links, 1 Pisty, 1 Striker. These are just link 1 dark monsters that you can just go through super early just to get them in grave, and then be able to have more targets for your bestial monsters, as well as if you have like plays where you need to get for particularly Chamber, Summon Chamber, you need to get her in grave. If you've already gone through Striker, sometimes you know, the Pisty can't come up that way. And there's actually plays where you could technically use the Pisty. It wouldn't be often, but it's technically possible. But don't expect it to come up too much. Link 2's double hieratic seal of the Heavenly Spheres. I also play 1 the Dark Charmer, because you have to. If you play dark cards, you got to play it. And then IP. This one doesn't come up all that often, but there are some really cool plays with IP. I mean, Bestial Drew's Worm. So like if you made this and have Drew's Worm on the field, or Drew's Worm in hand, so maybe you used a Magnamut and any other monster to like make this going first, you'd be able to like use Drew's Worm to interrupt your opponent's graveyard, then use IP to link with the Drew's Worm, and then from in the new chain link, you're going to be able to Unicorn plus Drew's Worm. So like remove 2 monsters and you've DD Crow'd your opponent. It's a pretty cool setup. It's a cool card, you know. It could come up that way. Speaking of which, the high links, I play Unicorn and Access Code. I will say this though, I would love to find room for a Underworld Goddess. Avramax is in the format, and it's kind of annoying. I know Access Code. Oh no, Access Code doesn't deal with him, right? Well, I guess it depends how they make him. I guess if they made him with like an IP and he can't be destroyed by card effects, then this guy doesn't do anything. But because he just can't be targeted, I think. So this doesn't target, but he would be able to punish the Access Code back when he's removed from the field. So Underworld Goddess I really like, because it gives us out to stuff like that, or just any towers monster you could run into, and this deck can make it pretty easily. Plus with IP, it's another route to like go into off of that. There's, you know, there's cool applications for it that I could definitely see coming up. And then finishing up here, we have our Exceed package. 1 copy of Hieratic Dragon of Atum, 1 Wallow, founder of the Drudge Dragons, and 1, you know, AA Zeus. I will say, I think this card is the most cuttable card if you want to make room for the Underworld Goddess, just because, like, we're only playing the 6s. So, 1, you're not, like, almost never making this turn 1. You're usually, like, summoning Magnamut, maybe searching another one, and then on a later turn making it when you, like, establish 2 6s. But outside of that, like, usually these don't come up. But Wallow is actually insane. This card's so good. If you can play it and you have space and, like, you play the Bestials, you should play this card. It's so good. This card's cool because this card allows, like, the Bestial engine to connect you back into the Dragonmaid engine. Just summon one from deck and, like, get into a spheres that way. Sweet. Yeah. All good there. Like I said, the only change I would consider is maybe cutting the Zeus for the Underworld Goddess. But other than that, you know, no real complaints overall. This deck is really cool. I mean, it's already having a little bit of success on the regional scene, so definitely look out for that. You know, I don't think it's perfected. I've seen very, very different builds so far, and I think there's a lot of different ways. I've seen people trying to play the branded engine in it, right? And you can fit more Dragon Link cards than you would think in here. Just make it a little more Dragon-maidy, which is cool. So I don't know. The sky's the limit for this deck for sure. This is definitely a competitor. We will have to keep an eye out though, because Graveyard Disruption does affect this deck for sure. So the Ishizu stuff hurts it. The Bestials kind of, while they're really good in the deck, they also are decent interruptions against the deck. So it's not all buff for this deck. It is a buff at the cost of, like, everybody else playing hand traps that are pretty good versus you. So you definitely got to weigh those pluses and minuses. But I do think at the end of the day, it is a good deck. We'll just have to see how far people can go with it consistently on the competitive scene. But yeah, that's my build for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. As always, let me know your thoughts down below on the build and Dragonmaids in general. Is there any future stuff that you have your eye out for? Is there anything that I didn't include in my list here that you think would be a really smart inclusion? Definitely let me know in the comments section down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. But yeah, I'm out of here for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.